Let's do some knitting. Let's do some knitting. I mean, like with every work in progress crafters have, this I've been working on for some time, off and on. Put it down, pick it up, put it down, and then work on other projects. All right, so the coloring is off. It's purple. I tried to get my camera as accurately as possible, but it's not working right. The yarn I'm using is Mandela yarn, and it's Troll yarn. And what I did is I designed a scarf, and the stitches I'm using is a moss stitch, and it's going to be knit and purl, knit and purl. So that the reason why I did that is because I didn't want it to curl, because when you knit and purl, it actually curls. All right, so now I'm back on the purl side. All right, so we're gonna purl 5 sets, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit for 5 of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna purl 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we're gonna purl. Okay. Purl and knit. Purl. 2 and knit. 3, purl and knit. 4 and 5. We're going to end on the knit, and then we're going to purl 30. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we're doing, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and this is the 5th set of 2. Purl, knit. There we go. And how you can tell is because you can see that it's starting just at the purl right here, and you can see when the moss stitch ends. So now we're going to purl 30. And then it should be 10 stitches left. If you want it to keep up with what you're doing, you can put a stitch marker there. So there's also the option of, if you get distracted or anything, and you want to do this without having to look at the paper all the time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, you can just put your stitch marker there. There we go. Like that. And then you can go from there. Okay, so I'm coming up, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I'm doing 2 more, and that'll be 30. 1, 2. So my 10 stitches will count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to end it off with purl and knit. And knit, purl, and knit, yep, purl, and knit, purl, and knit, purl, and the last one should be knit, and it worked up. And you can tell, like, your moss stitch will be off if you missed it. I've had to pull this out a few times myself, streaming and trying to work on it. So, but you can tell when it looks accurate. It'll easily be off if it's not. So, okay, so this is the knitted side. So we're gonna start off with, we're on row 117, and this, the size 5 knitting needles, I like using the smaller stitches just because I just like the feel and the look of the stitches being smaller, and it just looks really nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is do the same thing. It's going to be knit 1, purl 1, and that's going to be 5 sets of 2, which makes it 10 stitches. And you can tell where the moss stitch ends for the 10 stitches and where the knitting part starts. So that's where you can put your marker right there. All right, so you can leave it on there, but I'm just going to, like, put mine here. It'll go down as it goes, but usually you put it on the knitting needle, but I like having it free of the stitch marker. Okay, so now it's going to be knit and purl because it's on the knit side. Purl, that's 2 sets. Knit and purl, that's 3. Four. And then 5. And then we're going to knit 30. Okay, so we're on 30. We're going to knit and purl. There should be 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is 10 stitches, and if you want to, you can put your marker on the actual, so you can do your marker like this, and then you just kind of go like that, and then you go and do your knit. And purl. Knit. And purl for 2, 3, 4, 5. Knit. And purl. Knit. And purl. Knit. And purl. There you go. And then there's where your marker is, so you know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10. You know your moss stitch is on track. You have your stitch marker there. If you get distracted, you can put your stitch marker on the other side. And then the next one, we're on row 118. And now we're going to purl 1, knit 1, 2 sets, be 10 stitches together. So that would make 5 pairs. Okay, so we're going to purl. That was how, yep, I'm on the right one. And you can see because the purl side. So we're going to purl, and then we're going to knit, and then we're going to purl. And this is 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, and then the 5th set, and mine should be at my marker. All right, just move my marker over. And now I know, because it is correct, I am literally at the purl side. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to purl 30. And then you can put a marker at the other end to where your moss stitch is. And then you won't have to count your stitches. And the marker will just be there for you. So now I'm going to purl 30. What I did is a similar kind of pattern, but what I did was I did the moss stitch. You can't see because it's so dark. This is the moss stitch. Let me go on the white side. Okay, so I did a moss stitch in this also too. I don't know if you can see because the light's kind of bright. Let me see. But what I did was I ended up sewing it together. Okay, so there's my moss stitch. I did the same thing, but then I sewed it together and I did the knit and purl. And then my husband helped me cross stitch because his mom cross stitches more than I did. So that's how I got the idea of cross stitching. This is like old TLK knitting stuff. I used to call myself TLK knits or TL knits or something like that. As BRB, so what I decided to do, which is really weird, I can wear it like a scarf. Or I can wear it like, let's see if it still works. Which it might be kind of hard to put on. I can wear it like a very tiny bolero. It's twisted in the back. That is so cool. It's twisted. I think it's supposed to be the opposite side of what I'm doing right now. But there's my BRB. BRB. Yeah.